Yeah, welcome everyone. This is Gio, your host, and this is I'm Scared. And we are diving in back to episode 4, Green, where color is the distinction in this episode. Uh, we get a lot of history into this, right? Because he was in the midst of multiple, like the ending of World Two, or World War, World War Two. There we go. And part of it starting the Vietnam War era too. So we're seeing multiple things, but I love how this starts displaying a lot of like this episode lures the color into a way that coincides with the theme of it. So without further ado, let's hit that theme. Let's discuss this episode.
If you are prone to scare easily, avoiding all the scary horror movies, you'll never watch but are intrigued to. Geo and Alex watch and review, so you don't have to. So you don't have to.
All right. So now we're caught with, even though Ed is stuck in his fantasy or his ideal of what he's doing, digging up bodies and stuff like that, he ends up finding two very different women, which is really good. Kind of giving him that per se that he's also looking for companionship, right? Um, One of them unfortunately has a more feel for his mother, right? So obviously mother issues, if you can say. But we are, again, like I explained, we are hitting the Vietnam era. So we're getting into another war, and things are starting to go around, and different things are coming out in the news. The one thing that I really like about this is the episode is called Green. So most of the stuff is a very greenish color, right? And green in this one symbolizes, obviously, and I think in any kind of genre, but green symbolizes sickness, envy, and decay, but also the perversion of growth, right? So we see like all this, the war hints of the American society, the traumatic, the invasive, all that stuff changing, and so you're seeing this backdrop coming in, showing us how sick and sicklier Ed's getting, and how envious things are becoming, and how decay is just causing everything to go through. It also goes with the young filmmaker who is starting to do some research about the boogeyman, and find uh, the inspiration in Ed Gein of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, how he put on a face, how he chased people with a chainsaw and stuff like that, and you see bits and pieces of it, right? We see how he ends up kind of getting into this persona of things, right? And it only happens, right? And I hope I'm not cutting. Let me look at my notes, because I hope I'm not cutting through to a different one here, but I believe it's this one. If it's not, it's the fifth, and I'll repeat it again. But we end up seeing how these people that are hunting end up getting lost, and they end up finding Ed's house. And when they enter, he is obviously working on a cadaver. And so that's when he chases them with a chainsaw, giving us that perspective of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? And of course, I love the fact that as he's chasing them in this field, and running them through, he's in tall grass, green grass. He's wearing a green coat. We just have him, at the end as he's chasing them, and he guts them down. He's just staring at the camera directly. Again, that mood that was sent, right? The sickness is growing. It's getting worse. It is becoming more and more, like more, basically more and more bodies are being collected. So more, deeper, he's getting into this hole, right? And one of the lovers, one of the women that he meets, again, the one that kind of reminded him of his mother, was one who was a friend to the mom. She is a little bit older, and she ends up being his demise. Unfortunately, she doesn't make it. So again, spoiler alert. So if you're listening to this, I'm gonna spoil the crap out of any movie. But her death is the one that ends up bringing his end to all his craziness. But we see that you know, this corruption, the growth of his obsession is gone so bad that it's come to that, very eerie, grossly green color, right? Showing the sickness of it. And this is when it all starts going just downhill. In reality, this is where he realizes, if anything, that that at the end he was fascinated for one thing, but he's not really sure what he did, So that's what makes it very, very crazy about that. But I know for a fact, watching these episodes, at least these last 4, you get to see someone who was stuck in between the terribleness of one war and the ending of it and what occurred during that war, to now starting a new war, starting something even. To me, I'm not sure. I have to look it up, and which I can, because obviously I'm recording this on a computer. But if I know, the Vietnam War was probably one of the worst wars we've had. Obviously, the one that we lost completely. But let's see. I'm looking at it. Yeah, see, that was a 20-year war, right? They started in 1965. It started going higher into it. So yeah, it ended up being, the war officially ends in 1975. So you're looking at not approximately 20 years. That doesn't look 20 to 10. Wait, 65. Yeah, about like 10ish or so years. I don't know. I'm pulling this up on Wikipedia, but it was pretty gruesome as well. I've heard a lot of stories of survivors, and as well as the torture, the tortured soldiers that were caught, and so it just wasn't the best perspective. And you can see how that can cause someone with such mental instability to see or get further deep into his thing, as the world is also being more unstable. It's just allowing him to open. And in this time, again, the suspicions are out, but no one's catching him. So maybe even the thrill of not being caught allowed him to get deeper and deeper into not providing, but gathering more bodies. So it is one of the things that I thought was crazy, and then I hope that people understand, and especially crazy people, and I mean, like, people who have thought of doing these things, that we probably shouldn't. Let the dead lie where they are at. Let them rest in peace. Holy cow! Like, we do not need to come in and do anything further for them, or even disrupt them. But I'm babbling on. However, this episode allowed us to see the darkness in him, or the green, the envy, right? So the color really set a good tone to this one. And now we'll continue on to episode 5, where we will start seeing the downfall of Ed, start seeing that in the end, all the stuff he had will soon be able to be stopped by intervention, by good faith, and as well by a loving son. So we will keep it at that. So keep yourself fresh and see you guys next week.
If you are prone to scare easily, avoiding all the scary horror movies, you'll never watch but are intrigued to. Geo and Alex watch and review.